Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, politicians on both sides of the aisle know that it's good politics to talk about lowering taxes. That stuff is very popular, and there's this whole anti-tax crowd that pretends to be a grassroots movement. It's actually AstroTurf. It's a rich people's movement. Because despite all of the tax cutting that has supposedly been going on for so long, the tax rate for the middle class and the working poor is about the same as it was in the 1950s. Roughly 36%. Compare that to the one and only income tax return that Mitt Romney so generously made public while he was running for the president. And in that year, he paid at 13%. So how can this be? Well, it's a nice piece of sleight of hand used by our politicians. When the middle class or the working poor get a tax break that is exclusively targeted for them, that tax break always has an expiration date. So 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, that tax break expires. And then the politicians are once again free to talk about a tax break for the middle class. But what happens is that when the tax break is given to the middle class, it is usually very small. So that when the tax break expires, they don't even notice the difference. But the tax breaks that go to the rich, well, they don't have expiration dates. They're made permanent. And don't forget, there are loopholes and subsidies that the rich get that just aren't available to the middle class and the working poor. But it's not just the fact that the feds have cut taxes for the rich. States and cities have done the same, because they think a low tax rate makes a city more attractive. Unfortunately, cuts to basic services make a city less attractive. Sometimes people don't notice that until they actually move into the city, and at which case then they have a mortgage and they're kind of stuck there, and all of a sudden they notice that, gee, the bus service sucks. It's hard to get around this city. Gee, when I try to get something done at City Hall, it's really hard. So they find themselves stuck in a place that really kind of sucks. For example, if you're thinking of moving to Kansas, it's probably not a good idea. Taxes are really, really low there. But if you get sick or injured, you're going to have to travel a long way to get treatment because their hospitals are closing up. And forget about educating your kids. The schools there are closing early this year because they don't have enough money to stay open. And cities are giving tax breaks also to corporations and to rich people that want to move there. But they found a unique way to make up for their eroding tax base. They've raised the cost of parking tickets, traffic tickets, jaywalking tickets, all kinds of fines and fees. Now, if you're a rich person and you get a ticket, it's no big deal. You just pay it and don't even think about it. But if you're working poor, or even middle class, and you get a ticket, now those fines are a significant part of your income. And if you don't pay the ticket on time, it escalates. It will double and triple before you can even think about it. And they also tack on extra fees if you're late with the payment. So a single ticket, a simple parking ticket, can have a devastating effect on a poor or even a middle-class family. People are actually going to jail for parking tickets. And the police are told to go out there and write them tickets. Don't give anybody a break. Don't give anybody a warning. Because the city has to raise money. And they no longer have anything to do with public safety. For example, here's one of the things they do around here in LA is they keep on, when they repaint the red zones, they make them a little bigger so that they might take up one less parking space. And in a city like this where the competition for parking is fierce, believe me, taking away a parking space is a big deal. And it's just about raising money. Taking away that parking space didn't make anyone safer. What it comes down to is that our cities have become predators, and they prey on their population. And the people most affected are the people who can least afford it. If you want people to think your city is a good place to live, try treating the people who live there with a little decency. Thanks for listening.